All right, welcome everyone to the MTG Arena live stream we've got planned for you for September 19th. I'm Professor Nox, also known as Noxious. I'll be hosting this panel, joined by Chris Kale over there, executive producer.
Most days.
On MTG, most days? What do you do all the time?
Well, right now, what am I doing? I don't know. I'm here. Let's talk about stuff.
We got Chris Clay, which is game director on MTG Arena. You've probably seen the guy around. I mean, he's
a few times.
Or his chair.
Maybe. Or the chair.
Or the chair. Known for the charismatic streams, correct? And Michelle Sutterfield, which is influencer manager at for the MTGA. You know, all the streamers I think are in touch with you.
Yep.
So we've been in touch for a while now. And today's going to be a very special show because we've got a lot to cover. Yeah. We don't have just the usual, an update as to what's going on. Open beta has been announced for those of you who are not aware. At last, it's one of those milestones I think that the team must have been looking to hit for a while.
Oh,
yeah. Getting to the point where we do this last wipe and it's real is a big point.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are getting a bit impatient. I feel like over the past week, I've seen a lot. I mean, I've been on that end too. Of like, when are we finally getting this? The wipe happening. Yeah. There was some speculation that we'd also be getting it with Ravnica coming out, but
it's almost like that timing makes a little bit of sense for various reasons.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah. I feel like maybe sometimes it's planned. It's not just haphazard, just a little bit. So we're going to be touching on the open beta, what it means. We're going to be talking a little bit about the closed beta and how it went. So a bit of history for the background. We won't spend too long on that. I know you guys have been playing the closed beta for a while now, and we'll be talking about the future of it, and we'll be touching with Michelle on the creator program. Yep. Which has changed quite a bit. It's been a while. We have a lot of updates to talk about. So, without before we start this, since we're on the Ravnica theme, I have to ask each of you a mandatory question. What's your favorite guild?
Boros, of course. And I know you give me grief for this, but what else am I gonna say?
You can't. Degenerates cannot be fixed. It's just it can't be helped.
It's just the best.
Yeah. Do you like the cards that have been announced?
You can't hate. I just angels and they make me feel good.
Oh, angels and Boros. Okay, you know what? I'll forgive you.
If
you're in Boros for the angels.
My sensitive side, Knox.
Fair enough. I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, Golgari. So.
Okay, Chris Clay and I have a connection. It's just
you like
thing.
Fungus?
I like growing things and I like compost. So.
Okay, sounds good. That's very eco-friendly. I like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Golgari as well. I
really?
mean, yeah, all about that flavor town there.
I was pinning on an Is It.
That's
character.
So funny.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not even a bit. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with blue. Keep me out of those counter spells. Okay, I was really pinning you on Is It.
I don't know.
We got 3 Golgaris.
Surveil has some allure though, so maybe I'm
a bit of Sultai.
Maybe a little bit of audible over.
Just punch him in the face. Come on, guys.
That's how Magic was meant to be played. It's been played that way for a while now. So, frankly, not a bad strategy. All right, well, without further ado, let's get into the first topic. So we're going to be talking about the history of the beta a little bit. So leaving closed beta behind, in the early days, I have some questions, of course, about the development of MTG Arena. It's been, 9 months now since the very first days of closed beta. And I want to, hear your thoughts on how it went, starting the project, or at least, growing it, and how the team has expanded since then.
Yeah, I mean, we've come a long way as an organization, as a project. We wouldn't be here today without the team that we have. They've done a fantastic job of really coming together as a group. And, one of my clear memories from this project is when KO joined and we were trying to find the heart of what we were trying to do, and it came down to fast fun magic, and that sort of became the rallying cry of we are going to get fast fun magic. And it was trying to shift a little bit away from the simulation of the tabletop experience to become more of a game, and that has done a whole lot of good, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. For what it's worth, I've been enjoying that part of it. Like, it's much faster paced than the traditional ways in which we've played Magic over time. So I guess you've succeeded at least, at making it faster than...
Thanks!
Yeah. you at least succeeded at that bar. It's not as bad as you think. It could be worse. Yeah, so... as far as like the development of it, because I know that since the very beginning, you launched a product that was a real beta. You know, I've said this repeatedly, but I'll say it again. This game was a legitimate beta for a variety of reasons. I'd say like a lot of the betas that come out these days from a variety of companies, when the beta comes out, it's often used as a promotional tool, which, you know, I'm sure Arena also was. But for the sake of development, there were a lot of features that weren't quite there yet.
Well, we really did that intentionally because we always said we want to build it in front of players because that's the way we actually make sure that what we're building is what they want, right? Like, that's what a beta really needs to be doing. And even with open beta, we're going to keep building things and adding features and doing the feedback. It's just that the game's there. People have been playing it. They're ready for it. We want to just see what everybody thinks. We've had this great closed beta audience. They've given us all this feedback. Like, it's changed the game significantly if you look month over month over month, and it really helped our decision making. And we want to keep rolling with that from open beta until launch.
Okay, so it's not actually a veiled release. It's actually an open beta with additional features coming in. All right, so you know, I know a lot of people probably worry about whether or not you know, this means, all right, guys, product is shipped. We're done with this.
We're done. We're out.
We are not done by any means. I mean, a lot of times with an open beta and where you make the call, you could say, okay, we're going to wait until everything is exactly perfect. But we've been rolling with, hey, we got some more feedback. Let's see what the next card set does. Let's see how we can up our game. I think when you see guilds, you're going to see how we've taken the user experience of just playing it, the new visuals, everything to the next level from where we were 9 months ago. Yeah. Right? We've gotten better at that. We're getting better at all of those features, and we're just going to not stop that attitude, right? Like even past launch, we are adding stuff. We are continuing to change stuff. We are listening to what players are talking to us about. Yeah. And we're getting, what we really need is a lot of new players that just to see what everybody thinks now. And that's really what open beta is about for us, is so people just come in, they just hit our tutorial, what happens, right? We have a lot of folks in closed beta who are dedicated Magic fans, who are focused on it, and they've helped us a lot. But we need those other perspectives too.
Okay, try to refine some of the existing.
Right, there's not really a way to do that without going to open beta. Yeah. So.
Okay, that makes sense. But like as far as features go, right, like there must have been some features that, you know, you hadn't planned for and that people had been asking, because I know for a fact that the initial experience of MTGA was not quite what we have now. Like we did not have
a beta.
It was very bare bones. Let's just put it that way. And
maybe
it's come
closer to alpha than beta. It was definitely raw, when we first started.
What features really took you by surprise, let's say?
I don't know if there was anything that was an outright surprise, but I know one of the things that evolved a lot over the course of the beta was like the economy. You know, from the early days to where we're at now, that was one of the places where we kept going to the forums, you know, kept looking at, you know, the data we're collecting and continued to iterate on it to get to the point where we're at today. It's changed.
The economy, I think the biggest thing about the economy was players took us at our word and said, hey, you shipped this, it should be complete and done. And instead, one of the things we did was we shipped part of it, then part of it, and then part of it. Now, that actually was part of the plan because we wanted to ship part and see what the reaction was. But honestly, people had reaction to an incomplete economy, and we said, cool, let's keep working on it. I think now we're in a place where we see solid playtime, solid engagement, people making collections, making diversity of decks now because we have deck-based matchmaking. It's good, but it's not great. And so part of what we want to keep doing is evolving that and keep going with it. But it's in a place now where tons of people are getting cards, playing for free, having fun, and if they want to, paying us some money to get some more of that same experience. So we're at that verge, right? We're not perfect, but we're headed that way.
Okay. Well,
and I know people are going to go, economy! Yeah, like, yeah, I hear you, but we're not going to stop working on it, right?
Yeah, it's not quite finished yet. Like there's still, like we've talked about the fifth card problem as being, it's still, you know, it's kind of in the past. It's in the closed beta, but you've talked about revamping that. The vault still exists, like it's hidden away in a menu. But there are plans to still address that. That's still on the table.
Yeah, actually, the fifth card thing we've gone through several design versions on. And so while folks, we ourselves, trust me, he's like, fifth card, and he runs into rooms. What we're really looking at is there's some other things we'd also like to solve. Like people are having anxiety around spending wild cards sometimes. What's the best choice? How do I do that, right? How does my collection matter? You're giving me all these individual cards. What does that add up to? And these all interact with each other. So we feel like we have a good set place to start. We have enough that we've proven through play and what people's feedback are that they can get a lot of that going, but we haven't finished those last issues and we want to get the broad perspective to really tie it all together. So it's something we're working on actively right now, and we've tried some stuff out and it hasn't hit the mark yet.
Yeah, I feel like, well, the initial iterations of the economy were very stingy. Like, we're way past those days in terms of the free-to-play day-to-day experience with the whole, like, change to the ICRs and the front-loading. It's better than it used to be, but again, it's not yet completely finished.
I think one of the things is, that with, like I was talking about with the economy, it was actually incomplete. Now that you see the new player experience and you see the decks you get with the quests, there's chunks of stuff which we're like, we're going to give you a bunch of value. And everybody's like, where's my value? And we're like, it's coming, but like... I'm fine. Players are mad because they didn't have it at that time. That's totally understandable, but that's the kind of beta we've had. We've had an honest beta where we've said, what do you think? How's it going? And we've made changes, and we're going to keep doing that as we go to this broader audience.
All right, fair enough. Now, we're leaving the closed beta, entering open beta. There's going to be a rotation happening with Guilds of Ravnica hitting. So that means we're losing Kaladesh, Aether Revolt, Amonkhet, and well, I say losing, but like what's going on exactly? Because those sets are gone.
Goodbye.
Hallelujah! This is the best day of my life. Oh, you mean I'm not on the play and there's a Bomat? Oh, goodness gracious.
So,
thank you, Chris.
For right now,
for this.
For the actual open beta start, we're pulling the rotated sets out for the time being, but we're going to add them in the future coming up here, definitely before rotation of next year, because by next year there will be a evergreen format. There will be a format where you can play all the cards you've had in Arena. We just don't have the details on that because we're focused on what's the best experience for new players coming into the game.
Well, yeah, for people coming into the game too with open beta, even with the content we have, it is a lot of cards, and adding those 4 additional sets on with whatever you want to call the evergreen format for things in the past, Arena Modern, we'll come up with a really good name there. Having all that additional content on top, it does add a level of just complexity that I don't know is best for open beta for us, but we have that content. It works, and we want to bring it back.
Okay, I got an idea for the name of the format. You could call it the Scrap Heap Scrounger format. that would probably just
that'd probably be accurate.
I don't know if we want to call it the Scrap Heap, but we'll take that under advisement.
But just real quick, we get that everybody loves those cards and wants to play with those cards. We get that people, when they collect them, want to keep them no matter what it is, and that's what Arena's about, right? Like, we want to keep these collections going and growing. It's just, right now we're going to start here. And we know that there's different players. Like, some of the more advanced players are like, well, I can handle all those cards. Well, we'll get there. We have them. We've shown them off. We've played with them a lot. We're going to put them in. We're just not going to start that way right now. It will be coming in the future, and definitely before rotation next year.
So with the rotation as well, in the open beta, we're getting a wipe to everyone's collection, so the cards are actually gone. From my understanding, the gems are given back to the people who purchased them. That was the available information. Did anything change on that front, or is it still?
No, paid gems, and if you had some of the codes, specifically the New Zealand test codes we did, I think it was in March or something like that, all of that stuff's coming back to you, and you can respend it and redraft and do whatever you want with it.
Welcome bundles as well?
Well, yeah, welcome bundles as well. Yep.
Oh yeah, the little bundle where you just get a lot of cheap stuff, effectively. Yeah, that was neat.
A lot of folks bought that, found it really fun, and used it well, so we love that kind of thing and want to find more along that line. So
some people bought it more than once.
Somehow. However that happened.
Well, it's a beta, right?
It's a beta.
It actually...
Oh, you managed to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
You get away with it.
You know what? That is... our help. It helps us as run our game, so we're good with it.
That makes sense. So as far as the future of MTG Arena at this point, looking forward with Ravnica that's coming up, what are the new players going to have to expect out of the initial experience after the servers come back up?
Yeah, I mean, we've had the new player tutorials online. Those have gone through some revisions and refinement for the open beta, and we've added a new player experience to the landing pages to sort of walk you through the more outside of the game portion of Arena. So players are going to have the foundation to play. That we still know that there's a bit of a transition from the tutorial playing against AIs to really going into head-to-head combat.
We have plans to add for that and to continue to grow the onboarding. I think he's kind of bearing the lead a little, though, because Sealed, dude. Like, I mean, I'm sure all of them were like, oh, good, more tutorials. That's awesome.
I can't wait for tutorials in my MTG. I'm so hyped.
for the new players, that's actually really important. But yes, Sealed is finally coming to Arena. I know I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
And Sealed is going to be another place where we're testing codes. So it's one of the places where tying into the tabletop product, if you go and play in a sealed event, in your package, you will get a code for a free Sealed over in Arena. So
yeah, so here we're showing up some of the pictures. There's actually 3 types of codes coming in. So we've always talked about the diversity of audience. Well, we're trying a few different things out, right? So for the pre-release, we have, if you go get it, you get a free Sealed, a code for a free Sealed. If you buy a Planeswalker deck, I think there's 2 of them, right?
Correct. Each Planeswalker deck has
Rawl
one.
and Gold. I think that's the Golgari one with Vraska.
Yeah.
I think is the other one. Yeah.
You get that.
I'll get that.
You get that redeemed, and that's good. And then there's also just a Play Ravnica code.
Play Ravnica
and get
and
3 packs. So we're trying out different types of codes. We're going to keep doing it. We're doing them through streaming and all sorts of things. But this is just a way to give everybody sort of an interest and hey, come on in and here's a little bit more for your welcome.
So how's the Play Ravnica code work? Do you just type it in the code box? Everybody can do it?
Everybody can do it and everybody can do it.
Okay.
So it's just instant. But, you know, not everybody knows about it. But we wanted to make a code that just like anybody can do.
So Play Ravnica. Okay,
Right.
so I'll remember
Yeah,
that. Play
yeah.
Ravnica. Now you say Sealed is coming over to MTG Arena. Now we've been asking for that for a while. I guess there just hasn't been. It wasn't in place for M19. I'm assuming now that it's ready. As far as the structure of it, because that's really the important part. Is like when it comes to those formats that are coming in. Like, what's the entry fee? What's the payout?
Sure.
Is there a premium on it? Like, how's it structured as it is?
So it's 4 guilds itself, right? It's the 6 packs. You pay 2,000 gems to get into it.
Okay.
But you get those 6 packs to open into play, and you get a minimum of 3 packs and 200 gems, even if you don't win at all. So you're basically getting 9 packs of actual packs and 200 gems, so that's another pack.
So 10 packs.
So you're getting 10 packs worth of value if you don't win anything at all. But of course, we actually want to incentivize people, you know, feeling like they're having fun. So at the 3rd win, we actually double up the rewards. We have it on a web page somewhere, which we can link out. But what we're trying to do is give even people who, you know, you go 3 and 2 or you're playing there, you feel like you got a satisfying experience and you got some really good rewards out of it. And if you go all the way to the top, it's 2,200 gems. So you go infinite, plus you get the packs, plus, you know.
So the entry fee is
2,000 gems.
Okay, so 2,000 gems, which okay, so
if
you're
you
actually
buy-
getting back 2,000 gems worth of packs no matter what on 0 win.
Right. So what's interesting is like if
Okay.
you buy the welcome bundle, you're into Sealed, plus you get packs. Right. So like.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes
like
sense.
so. I mean, you know, it depends on how if you want to try stuff
Sure.
out, see where it goes. If you want to, you can go do quick draft and get gems too. So there's a lot of different routes to it.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to Seal at least. Like that's one of the formats I like most. So that's going to be interesting. So when's that coming up exactly?
When it goes live.
That's when it goes live, the 27th.
So like the same day that you.
It's
you
actually
launch
it's
it, or-
actually the day before it happens on tabletop. So with next Thursday, you'll be able to come in at 1 o'clock when we all go and have a party and come in and hit Sealed. Now we're going to be using Sealed several times. This will be Sealed for Guilds of Ravnica, but we'll do other Sealed events, maybe a mix-up one where we do from different packs, or you know, a backlist one, whatever we do. It's now one of our formats we're going to be rotating in.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're looking to get cards from a set, it's a good way to go and acquire those
Yeah,
cards.
I mean, if this is going to be the same price as packs anyway for gem entries.
Well, the other thing that ties in nicely is we're also going to have a free Singleton event that weekend. So if you're playing Sealed and having Sealed and getting
Oh, no,
some
that's
singles,
nice. No, that's good.
then you
Okay.
can just go and build a Singleton deck and go have some fun. We know that everybody who's been playing in the beta or who's just is coming in isn't going to necessarily have the biggest collection. So we're like, build some Singleton, go get some more cards, right? Have some fun and play.
Singleton's back. Can we get it as a permanent format, by the way? I know I'm not the only one who's like barreling this one through, but like I really like Singleton.
It's really fun. We're not ready to go permanent with it yet, mainly because we're still testing out when people like to play what. So one of the things we did in the beta, as folks will know, is we tried out lots of different stuff. Some of it wasn't as good as other stuff.
Okay.
Like Twice the Life was kind of like, hey, Blue, come smash people. Would you like to mill? Right?
Would you like to play Teferi?
Twice the Fairy.
Twice the Life was designed in a format time when red was dominant. We're like, yeah, we'll just make it harder for red, and then it shifted to next to Turbo Fog. And so
We also had Exploration Draft here recently.
That was good. That was really good.
We have, the way we look at it is, we have a platform for Magic experiences. Both the ones players already know, like Singleton, but also stuff we're just inventing and coming up with. And what we really want to do is go, how do people play during the week? Like, how much do they play? When do they play? When do they want to play? and really sort of curate the experiences around that, right? So that you have this host of events to come up, kind of like Netflix for your Magic, right? Like, oh, do I want to watch this? Do I want to play that? And we just want to build that variety because we build cards and we build ways to play with cards. That's really what Arena's all about.
And like Singleton is one of the formats I really enjoy as well. That's part of the reason we're running it like it is, in that we're looking at a lot of things. The amount of time people are playing it. We're looking at the deck diversity, and Singleton's one of those things that in some ways we are protecting, because if it is always on, the health of the format will suffer. And what it happens right now is, every set we bring Singleton back for a couple of weeks. It's a ton of fun, and something I know I look forward to each time it comes back. Versus, I mean, I've read a lot of the feedback on Standard, and when it goes evergreen,
he's laughing. He knows.
Sometimes
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sometimes things get solved, and they're not quite as lovable as when they're a sometimes food.
Yeah. So as far as like Singleton goes, you're talking about the health of the format. Like, have you observed some kind of decline in the health as time progresses? Like less and less deck.
I mean, you can play Magic Arena. A long match is 10 minutes, right? Or maybe 15 if you're blue white or something.
Oh,
unless you're playing those cat decks with horses.
right. Sorry. Which won't be a thing anymore. Which we're going to go away. But the reason I say that is because the play rate is so much higher than tabletop Magic is, right? Like, you can just play on demand over and over again. Yeah. So things get solved, things get unified. There's this thing called the internet where people talk to each other. And so what happens
What is that?
What happens is there tends to be a race towards what people perceive as best. So one of our jobs is to keep things mixed up and interesting. So you have this base of cards, but you get to use them in new ways, right? Like, Singleton's a great, when we did it, I remember people going, where do I get common wild cards? And for Popper and for Singleton, and we're like, that's never been a problem before.
Right? Yeah, it's a very it's a very strange one, but
it was cool that Popper brought out, hey, people have a lot of fun. They haven't been using this resource we've been giving them. Let's give them a reason to use it, and that's really, we want to mix it up and change it up.
So, like, as far as, because I am a spending player, I've got a lot of people actually are, and as far as the wild card, the way that the system works right now, I am flooded with uncommon. You could release 5 sets tomorrow, and I don't think I'd run out of uncommon wild cards at this point. Are there plans to try and give me an outlet for them somehow?
So I think one of the things that we need to talk about just as a community is there's things we're thinking about, there's things we're dreaming about, and there's things we're actually working on, right? Okay. So when we say thinking about it, that means we've had designers and people spend time actually thinking through what's going on, looking at systems, right? Like, fifth card is through thinking and trying out sort of stage, right?
Okay.
For the uncommon and commons, we did it because there's actually a large segment of people who don't play as much as the people who play in closed beta. Like, thanks for playing, but you guys have played like billions of minutes, like, no joke, billions of minutes of games, right? Like, it's crazy, crazy levels of engagement. And so we're seeing lots and lots of accruals of things that we don't think is going to happen as much for people who play less often or who are just starting. So in a lot of ways, Magic Arena has to hit this huge, right, all the way from pros and super players to just the newest people in the world. So that's one of those things you're seeing come out because of that. But I think Popper was great because it helped us make a resource that wasn't valuable useful again. So we want to try to keep doing that for those things.
Yeah, I saw like maybe Peasant to use them up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's going to be, I guess, a part of the broader conversation about what happens with fifth cards or wild cards going to get modified in some way. I guess it might, tap into that problem a bit.
Yeah, I think the fifth card thing is specifically for us is we feel like we hit a place where, hey, you're going to get wild cards now. Because remember in closed beta when you were like, I have no idea. That was terrible, right? But now we're at a place where we're like, okay, how do we actually keep making this more engaging for different levels of engagement? Because we have these people who are super engagers. We need to take care of them, but we also have to take care of the I play once or twice a week kind of people.
Yeah, we have to take care of those people who, thank you so much for all your feedback. It always makes me smile when I hear somebody say, I haven't played Magic in 10 years, and I've started playing again with Arena. I'm loving it. And those are people like me with kids and families, and it's really great to be able to hop on.
Right, you can kind of see that
games and
in quick versus competitive, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Quick, we've joked, is like has kids mode. Right.
I have a child. I need to be able to leave this in exactly 4 minutes.
They won't die in the next 6 minutes.
So Bomat Courier, Heart of Kiran, go.
Yeah.
Hit them in the face. Okay, yeah, I see the point. I mean, I'm a big fan of quick mode. I know a lot of people like the competitive. I like quick draft. I like quick constructed. Those are. I feel like if only for the diversity, you know, when I'm stuck in a controlled matchup, it's nice to know that there won't be 2 more games of the same thing right afterwards, right? If I tech and they tech. So it's just a personal preference, but I think it lends itself to being played super well because the game is very fast-paced. But yeah, I mean, catering to the more competitive crowd, like that's one thing that needs to be addressed at some point. Like the matchmaking, for instance, for ladder.
Yeah, that's a good topic.
I mean, it's been a topic of conversation. At first, it didn't matter. Like everybody just climbed to the top. And now, honestly, like in limited, I'm basically gold 4, gold 3, and I don't think I can realistically go above those numbers.
Yeah, so actually, back to the thinking about it, dreaming about it, working on it, we are working on matchmaking, specifically on the clustering that's happening right now that basically freezes people into ranks.
I mean, one of the things that I know is really important for us is the long-term goals for players, and matchmaking and ranking play a big part in that. And a lot of what the system does right now for the ladder is give players a good idea if the match is fair, but it doesn't give a good sense of progression.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're really focused on changing here in the coming quarter
Well,
or so.
so back to the terminology, we're working on it, and Rank Matters is coming. We are aiming at it for 2018 because it's one of those things that we're like, we all know everybody wants it, and we know it leads to organized play, right? We know that Arena is a competitive game. Magic is a competitive game. We are going there. This is a, going to pro game. We just have to take the steps to get there, but we got to get the matchmaking in better shape, and we got to get rank mattering, and those are both coming.
For like more casual players like myself, are you planning to add cosmetic rewards to like ranking up and stuff? So we're getting cosmetics.
We'll get you a hat, and then you can wear your hat on this.
I am absolutely down for that. I will hold you to your word, sir. You better send me a hat.
Everybody gets hats.
Oh no.
No, so in all seriousness, what we've actually done is we've actually had cosmetics conceptually working behind the scenes in various ways for a while, but as the game evolved, we've been like, oh no, we don't want to put them there, we want to put them here. So for rank, we definitely need to reinforce it so that people know not only what rank you are, but your history of ranking and how you've done and what's happened in a season, right? Like that's a thing. But then we also just need you to be able to have fun and put on a cool hat, right? Which is the equivalent of a card sleeve or an avatar change. Right now we only have the avatars. Those are things that we are thinking / working on. They're coming after more important things like 5th card, rank matters, the matchmaking stuff, but that's definitely something that's literally on our roadmap. We are doing it. It's just probably not going to be before we get this other stuff settled.
Yeah, while we're talking about cosmetics, like there's a lot of versions of cards in the game. Like while I've got you here, if you look at Opt, for instance, it's present I think in 2 or 3 sets. I'm not exactly sure. There's Legion Conquistador. Yeah, I think it's present in Ixalan and Dawn.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So. Because right now I have basically like 8 negates, 8 Sailor of Means, 8, and I don't need 8. Like I can't use 8. What's up with those? Are there a plan to consolidate them?
It's interesting that we started off this game. We were talking about the history of the game. We started off making it authentic standard, and that was our goal, because that's something that digitally Magic the Gathering Online has been doing, but in our kind of spectator-friendly, fast way hadn't been done. And so we've been working with the card designers. We call them R&D here in the building.
Yeah.
To really make sure we're accurate to that. So what you're seeing right now is us being completely accurate to that. So that's why we reprint, if there's a reprint, we show you what that reprint is. Long term, we need to make sure that that doesn't become a problem because your deck builder is just going to get messy, right? But we want to do it in a way where things like alternate art cards also get handled. Because like for the beta thank you, we're giving away the 3 alternate art cards for the Mythic Planeswalkers.
Whoa. Beta, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whoa. No, but
so
what's up with that?
So what's the exact details? It's 3 of the guild leaders.
You're going to make me remember it. It's Vraska, Rawl, and then I'm blanking on the 3rd one.
Teferi.
Teferi, yes.
No.
So at least
That's why I was blanking on it. I just take Teferi out of my mind.
Right now, our marketing guys are screaming downstairs. Why can't they remember anything? No, so yeah, that's actually our first foray into like real alternate art. And so for the first week or so after open beta, you're going to be able to craft them. But we want to actually make it more of just a real beta thank you. So we'll be turning that off at some point. And then we also want to keep giving that beta thank you a little bit later. As we do cosmetics or other stuff down the road, we'll do something. We don't have particular plans yet, so back to it's in the dreaming part, not the thinking part.
Okay, so
but those cards are coming, and you're going to be able to get them and play them and show them off.
Okay, I can play an alternate art Vraska.
That's right.
MTG. That's.
And we want to lean into that alternate art. So to tack back to your other question, there's a lot of things that Magic does that other card games just don't have, and it would be great to maybe get some old school versions of art, right? And really mix it up and personalize your deck for who you are, right?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't mind a classic Icy.
I just want stasis in the game. That's the only.
not that classic.
I'm not that old school. All right. Well, that's kind of cool to hear. So as far as the, alternate formats, we've talked about that a lot. Like as far as you're gonna keep experimenting with stuff. Momir Vig just came up. So that there was a big pain point for me because I love the concept of Momir Vig just as a casual experience, but I find that the entry fee is kind of steep for specifically Momir Vig because it's as anti-competitive as you'll get, right?
So
how about
that's one of those interesting ones where when you have an entry fee to an event, people play through the event. What you see with something like the best case example I think I have is the ladder for best of 3. When we look at the analytics on that, it's somewhere in the range of the mid 20% of games don't end completely.
Okay, people
just yeah, I don't like this matchup, I'm done. They basically bail out. And by comparison, competitive constructed in the event, you have, I think it's closer to 3% of the matches have something happen.
Really?
Potentially because a client crashed or something like that. I think we fixed most of those.
I don't know what's up with that.
But
never happens on stream.
When you have some skin in the game, people play through.
Yeah,
I imagine what you would see a lot more in an event like Momir in particular is great, I didn't hit the 5-drop I wanted. I'm just going to bail out.
Okay, yeah, but
and that's one of the things we're going to see with Singleton. This is going to be a really good direct comparison.
Because it's not going to have
Oh,
a
it's true. You're right.
We're going to be able to see how many matches do people, play 2 turns and they're like, it's not working out, I'm done.
Yeah, and we don't have locked thinking on much of this. Really, it's put it out there, see what happens, and change it. If you've noticed, we tried flash events, we've tried all sorts of different things to figure out what fits. I think for Momir, the thing that makes it hard is that we just don't have as huge a base of cards as Magic the Gathering Online does.
Yeah, obviously.
And so you have the 9-drop.
9-drop.
You have the 9-drop, hello.
Isaac, are you open to banning stuff like this, by the way?
It's something we've definitely had in the thinking realm of things.
Curating some of those formats a bit?
Well, it's interesting what you mentioned that. So with the new update to the game, there's going to be a toggle on the landing page, which is arena modes versus all play modes. And arena modes, what that's really trying to do is filter it to the quick play and the stuff where we want new players to come and sort of the arena style of Magic, right? But we want to also keep all of the competitive and best of 3 and all that going, so that's in the all play modes. The reason I mention this is there was a huge amount of community discussion about the 5 tutorial cards that went out, if you remember, right? So one of the things we want to do, and we want to do it more long term, it's not an immediate thing, is be able to go, well, guess what? Those are in arena, but they're not in the others. Because people want to keep that the all modes, the tabletop modes. They want to be able to practice for tabletop, and we respect that. We aren't just arena modes, right? We are a platform for all kinds of experiences. We just want to make sure we have a way to focus people and go, what's the way to play the fast, fun Magic right now that you can get into? That's the arena style. But we have all these other flavors. So I mention it because that ties into a lot of the alternate modes, the Momirs, the what has a fee, what doesn't have a fee. We're going to keep experimenting with all of that stuff.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. So maybe a lower fee would be possible, but at least keep an entry so that people play the games out as opposed to... I'm actually curious about what's going to happen with the free Singleton event. That's really interesting.
You and me both.
Yeah, because I think people forget that the cost of quitting is so low because it's digital that it can sometimes make the other thing happen, an unexpected thing. So we'll see. We'll see.
So there's obviously a question here from the community.
Friendlies?
Fry ends.
Friendslist.
Liced.
Where is my friends list,
so,
dude?
It's funny because the president of the company asked me the same thing every once in a while. So, what's up, other Chris? How's it going? So we're going to do a friends list. It's going to be a thing. What we actually are focused on now is how you can play with somebody else you want to play with directly. So when I say working on it, you remember the thinking, working, dreaming? We're actually working on a way for as fast as possible to get to people, a way for you to play directly against someone else. Now, if everybody gets mysterious, they're like, well, why wouldn't you just build a friends list? Well, a friends list has a lot of stuff that goes into it. It could take more time than it could take just to get to you guys the ability to play against somebody else.
So just finding a single duel, entering a name from someone that I know,
right,
I can just challenge them directly.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a decent alternative,
It at least gets things started.
Yeah,
We're not going
I
to
get
stop there, there's a lot more we want to do in the social space. Like Magic the Gathering is an incredibly social game experience, right? In tabletop, and we need to bring our own version of that to Arena. But we don't want to wait till all of that's done. We'd rather get this first thing because everybody's been asking for it. We've been asking for it, right? Because I want to be able to just challenge you and throw down and play a game.
In the boring, lawyerly stuff, we're going to be doing an account migration as part of open beta. There will be a beta survival guide to help you through it. It's pretty straightforward. It shouldn't
with
cause
the
too much
Wizards
pain.
account, I think.
But that's also an important part of the stepping stones to get us to the friends list and have it do all the things we needed to do.
So is the dueling option going to be when open beta hits, or is that coming?
No, it's coming
a bit
afterwards,
later?
but we're working on it actively. By that I mean we're in the design phases right now, and we'll be moving to implementation as soon as open beta.
Okay, cool. So it's sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
it's something we want
okay,
this year.
at least
so we want to be able to do that this year. What we want to be careful about, because I know as a player I hate it when the devs go, December 6th, this is coming. If we're going to say that, we're going to mean it and that it's going to happen. But we want to see how open beta goes. We want to see what the other issues that come up happen. So we're always constantly working on sort of the long range thing while watching live and going, uh-oh, we need to fix this right now because this is a deal that we got to go.
Okay, so on December 6th, you've got the
exactly.
Can I post
He'll
on
be
forums
wearing a
now?
hat
Do I
and
understand how this works?
with his friends list.
I say I want it because that's nice and open, and you say December 6th.
Yep.
All right,
They told me not to say things, and I think I'm saying the opposite of all of them right now. So
everyone watching down in the pit, get working.
All right. Well, I think this pretty much sums up, the whole history plus the future of open. I'm actually kind of excited. Like Ravnica is going to be a big change. Getting sealed is honestly something I'm looking forward to. But before we get too deep into that, let's talk about something that pertains to me directly.
Yeah.
Always bring.
Let's talk about me
for
now.
a change.
hold on, go ahead.
You haven't been talking enough.
So the creator program.
Yep.
So a few months ago, that started,
Yes.
and you're bringing it back.
Yes, it never quite went away. So we introduced the creator program. We were all super hyped about it, and the moment that we sent out official invitations to begin the creator program to certain creators, you were one of them, as many others were, we got a lot of feedback from creators. And a lot of that feedback was stuff that made a lot of sense to us that we did not implement as part of the program. We also got a lot of feedback from creators that didn't qualify for the creator program that also made a lot of sense. So we said, hey, let's go back to the drawing board and let's make sure that this is right before we really implement what the creator program should be. So we did, and that's why we kind of went silent for a bit. It was all drawing board, we were moving things around, and now we have something brand new. And you can actually find it on what's now the Creator Hub. And I'm sure chat will throw in a link in there for you. But the Creator Hub is a place for creators. There you go, you can see it on the screen. This is a place where you can find resources and guides to make your streams better. Not just streams, your YouTube content, your communities, just all around your content. It will also have a place where you can be noticed for featured creator spotlights. And that is called the Notice Me page.
Okay, so how do I can apply and get noticed? What does that mean, get noticed? I mean, that's just...
I mean, you'll get noticed.
Okay. No, notice me, Michelle.
Exactly.
What happens when I apply?
So when you apply, you will actually get put into a list that I will be able to see, and we're going, great. These are people that want to be noticed to be a featured creator for MTG Arena. That's great that I can now reach out to them because I have their information and I can go and look at their content. And the featured creator list will be certain people that we will send out an invitation from those that apply, and you will be featured for an entire week. And so you will have sponsored content through MTG Arena, and that includes promotions. We will have a widget on the Creator Hub page that has your videos, your streams, your YouTube content up there, and you'll also get a whole bunch of in-game content.
So obligatory... who gets to do that? Because, usually it's just a very few people. So, like, do you have names in mind, or are you just taking...
Well, not you, because you're doing this stuff, so sorry.
I've already noticed. Oh, bamboozled, I'm leaving.
You've been noticed enough already, Nox.
But like,
Give
for
other
real, like,
people a
who
chance.
actually... Because I know, I've already applied to the initial creator program. I know a lot of people also have
Yep.
that we host each other a lot
Yes.
on Twitch.
So the original qualifications for the creator program had, certain numbers like 50 average concurrent viewers for their streams or 1,000 average views for their YouTube content. And so it really knocked out a lot of people to be able to be featured.
Right.
And so we decided to completely take that away. So really, if you only have 2 viewers on your streams, you can apply to this. We also are starting, of course, with North America, but our regional teams, we're in contact with them right now, and it's that working, thinking, dreaming. We are working on that, and it is coming sooner rather than later for our regional teams, for regional international streamers as well, which we're so very excited about. And we're also going to begin the featured streamers in early October. So we actually have a begin date for that.
Okay, so it's like right after, well, when the free weekend-ish starts for
Yes.
the event.
Yeah.
That's about when the features begin.
Yes.
Okay, so apply, I guess.
Yes, please
Yeah,
apply.
I mean, take out my phone.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I haven't even gone back on what that means. So I'll have to look into it. But like, what's as far as the resources go? You've mentioned the whole exposure part. They get assets? Like, can I get full art? Because I want full art images. We've talked about this. I've exchanged with you on email, and I didn't get really a response to.
So if you actually go to the Creator Hub, in that resource section, there's also video assets there, and there's a link to the media kits, which has, full, high-res art that you can be using for your video content. And there's also, and right now anyone can use this. You don't have to apply to receive this.
Oh,
Anyone that wants to be creating content can use this, so long as your, the terms of service and code of conduct, all of that needs to fall in line. But what's also great is you will see in the video assets section, that we are collaborating with Streamlabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really awesome collaboration, and we have official Streamlabs overlays that are built into Streamlabs OBS. You can download them directly. There's 6 amazing overlays and screens and of our planeswalkers, and they're also actively working on alerts and other Easter eggs.
Easter eggs? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those
you can't speak on those. I
know
imagine.
nothing.
Yep.
I like pizza.
I like pizza.
I like pizza
Can confirm.
too. No, they are coming. They're coming soon, but we are actively working on that with Streamlabs. And in those overlays as well, there's some awesome animated widgets by the awesome artist 100% Soft of the Planeswalkers, and they are they're to die for. They're so cute. They're so cute. They're so cute.
Okay, so.
And you can download these right now.
Okay, so basically you skip the whole, because you set up a stream that's a bit complicated for a new user, so you can basically just download the assets.
Exactly.
And it's like an executable, like a program you just launch and everything's included?
Yep, it's in there. On the Streamlabs website itself, it will give you a little bit more instruction, but it's basically, you just directly download, you pick out which overlay you want to use. There's 6 different planeswalkers to choose from. And
6?
It's so easy, a chair can do it.
Nice. Okay, I feel like we're going to see a chair stream soon.
Yep.
we better see a chair stream, Chris.
No, it's really amazing, and we're very excited to be working with them on this, and more to come with them as well.
Well, I guess that's good news.
Yeah.
For creators. Because I was wondering what happened with the creator program. For so long, we applied a lot.
Oh yeah.
And we've been talking. What's going on with it? Like, there's no. I mean, there's back and forth, but there's no program effectively.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
And
really
there was
coming
so
together.
much I wanted to tell everyone, but at the same time, when we're working actively,
They were in beta too.
Yeah, that's what we called it. We really did.
Yeah.
And it is still. We're now open beta, I guess you can say.
You guys are trying your stuff out, yeah.
You guys are in open beta. We're in open beta with our creators in our featured list as well.
Okay.
But yeah, we still have a lot to learn. We'll always be learning and adding things to be for those featured creators.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we've rounded up pretty much the big topics. Now I think it's going to be time to take some questions from the chat. The community, if you've been asking questions, which I haven't been reading any of the chat as I don't have access to it. I'm pretty sure we're flooded with Friendslist requests. So at this point, the answer to that is
December 6th, right? That's
December.
Oh, boy.
No.
Awesome.
You ruined everything. Basically, they're working on it actively, and it's going to be out as soon as possible.
Just to be super clear, working on being able to have you challenge another player directly.
A duel.
You could use that as a duel. You could set up your own tournaments, like whatever you want to do with that, because you can play somebody else. So if you guys want to self-organize, we just want to get that out to people because that's essential for Magic, and so that's what we're working on.
So I guess I'll just ask the first community question. As far as organized play goes, you talk Friendslist, you talk duel directly. Do you have any plans of making these maybe custom lobbies where I can add not one person, but like 7? We make an 8-man pod drafting event or something. So
that's in the definite dreaming, and I don't mean like, oh, it'll never happen. We've talked a lot about those kinds of things. Where we're at is, hey, we have this great platform for fast, fun Magic. We have all of these different ways to do it. What's missing? Well, the ability to play someone else directly, right? Just like I could in tabletop. Cool.
Sure.
Let's do that. What else is the next thing that's missing? Well, rank mattering. Okay, well, where's that going to go? That's going to lead to organized play, to online tournaments, right? But we don't have a structure we're ready to talk about for that yet, but these are laying the groundwork for that. As far as the custom events or the lobbies, that's another thing we've talked about internally and dreamt about, but it's not something we're thinking about, right? It's just something where we're like, well, we could do this with that. So no firm plans. Same thing goes for sort of multiplayer stuff, Commander and the rest. We really want to sort of get through what are all the ways we can play head-to-head? And then we've always, of course, have people on the team who are like, but what if we did this and this and this? So I don't think we're going to run out of cool things to do for any time soon.
Okay, so one day is the
short. I think there's things
in 2 words, one day.
I think there's things that we would love to do, and when we say we're dreaming about them, it's not crazy stuff, right? It's stuff that you're like, I'm a Magic player, I would love to do that. We just want to make sure we do the next most obvious, next most entertaining, fulfilling thing first, and that's where we're sort of rolling. And the open beta is going to actually teach us a lot, because there's going to be a lot of people who come in who haven't played Magic before, who aren't super engaged Magic players, and they're going to want things too. So we're going to just keep learning through this open beta.
Okay, well, fair enough.
As you're looking for some questions, I actually want to just take the moment to plug in the early access event.
Go.
Go.
Yeah, sure.
I'll do it. So we have an amazing early access event for Guilds of Ravnica coming up on September 26th. It starts at 8 a.m. and it goes all the way until September 27th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So that's 24 hours. And just to let you all know, this is actually going to be when the game is down for the public to get ready for open beta, which starts on September 24th. That's when the game will be going down.
From Monday and Tuesday, we're down, we're resetting accounts, getting everything ready, and then Wednesday, the streamers are going to start streaming.
Yep, so we have over 360 streamers, and we're actually getting a little bit more closer to 400 streamers being part of this event. I think you are also
I've been invited, I know. So if it's a 24-hour event, I'm probably not going to sleep much for the 24 hours. So
well, you'll only be able to play sealed ahead of everybody.
I'm just happy to play a bunch of Ravnica. At this point, I'm really excited for that set. It's probably one of my most anticipated sets for a long time.
So it's a full 24 hours. The streamers don't have to play for the full 24 hours, but lots of people are. And this is going to be your first chance to see Guilds of Ravnica in MTG Arena as well as the open beta. So it's going to be really cool. They're all going to come in with fully stocked accounts, and it's just going to be super great. And there's going to be a lot of familiar faces that we've seen a lot in our streams. There's also going to be a bunch of new faces that play some other pretty popular games on Twitch that you will see. But the bulk majority of these streamers are actually our smaller and growing streamers. And we really wanted to add them as part of this event to celebrate this transition to open beta, celebrate them, and thank them for streaming the closed beta for pretty much every single day. A lot of these people stream every single day.
I cannot thank the streaming community enough, because as a developer, being able to hop on Twitch in the evening and watch people play the game and see how they're interacting with things, see when things explode. It has been incredibly useful throughout the beta.
Yes. So we're very excited for that.
All right. Well, I'm trying to find some questions for... I'm not sure if I'm just not doing it right or if there's none popping, but I'm looking for questions from the community, and I've not been given any. So it's either all friends list.
Well, this is the question beta, so...
yeah, if we'll see. I like that. You're fully committed at this point, essentially. I'm not sure if is that ever gonna get old?
Yes.
Yeah,
it already is.
I think we may have played it. I think
we've overplayed it as well.
I think right there that may have been the moment. Yes.
Yeah, they're like, we don't need to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
We know.
Would you like to talk about the new player experience some more, though? Because I'm sure
The tutorial.
If I had my soapbox for anything, it would be, with guilds, we've put a lot of effort into the set mechanics and the visual effects for this to really bring them to life. So everything from Surveil to Undergrowth, Jumpstart to Mentor, they are at a new level, and we are going to keep leveling them up. But I'm really excited for people to go in and start playing with those. I
mean, we saw in the trailer, there were a lot of animations that actually showed up. I mean, we've already been playing with some Carnage Tyrant, Dragons, yada yada. So I've seen the one from, what's this Skull card that was showing up like at the end of the trailer?
Demonic Betrayal.
Yeah, that was impressive.
That was very metal.
Yeah, very metal.
Well, one of the things we've actually been doing is not just showing them to be fancy, but showing off the mechanic itself. So like Mentor actually is also telling you exactly what's happening. Like, hey, it's going to the stack, and then this is adding the counter, and oh, look, there's an effect telling me that I got a little medal for Boros, because Boros is the best, right? And Mentor's all over Boros. See how I did that?
Sure, yeah, I see.
But what I mean is, we don't want it just to be fancy and just to take up time. We want it to be an important part of gameplay. And so we've even brought them into the UI. Sometimes when you have that picker come up with the cards, now there's effects happening there too, to really help sell the story of what's going on, but also keep it really clear what's happening.
Yeah, it happened with the sagas too. When you guys implemented those in Dominaria with like the parchment, the scroll like opening up, it actually felt a bit more like the historic thing that it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's, we're supposed to, our mission is to bring Magic to life, right? You have the cards already, you're there, so how can we do it digitally? That's kind of what we're thinking. Yeah.
Now you just need to add rotating cameras to the board so we can get a really, like a living battlefield.
I laugh because people have dreamed about that.
Oh, have they?
but remember, fast, fun Magic.
Right.
Fast, fun Magic. Wait a second.
Would you like to skip the cutscene in your Magic game?
Enter, pass. Yeah, about the priority as well, that's one of the things that I'm sure the community, somebody's asked it somewhere. The priority passing for some like large chains of events, is there a plan to add a way to just right-click, yield to the trigger, as like let's say like Ajani's Pridemate,
and stuff like
that. Anointed Procession
is the sort of resolve all button.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely something that we're in the thinking phase on.
We've even tried out, you'd be shocked to hear this, but Magic's super complicated to engineer.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
You might have heard this. So on that one, it's definitely something that we want to do. I think one of the ones we did is Johnny's Pridemate, the one that always asks you if you want to put a token on it.
What's up with that?
Well, that's because the actual rules are there. But actually, this is a great story of, we worked with the R&D folks, and they're like, yeah, let's change that rule so that there's stuff like that where we're talking with them actively about like, hey, can we make it easier? And in some worlds, we'll just make it an arena mode thing only. And in others, it might actually help change what they're thinking about how they do future cards. So
that's interesting. So there's a bit of back and forth between R&D and Magic, like the Magic the Gathering arena team?
If there is one word in Magic that has caused our team more trouble than any other, I think it's May.
Yeah. May is
Would
hard
you like
to
to do this absolutely mandatory thing to
that you don't want to not?
I mean, it's one of those words that came about because of tournament play and making sure people aren't breaking the rules unintentionally. In a digital space, May is a big problem.
It's tough to navigate. I mean, I've observed it a lot of the time. It's like you pay an X cost, and it's like, you may do this, like, well, I just paid the cost. What do you think I want to do with the cost? Like, do you think I want to discard this for no fun? All right, well, questions apparently are coming up. Yep. We've got,
let's go.
Can they at least mention if Mac is in the working, thinking, or dreaming category?
It's another one of those ones that the president of the company's asked me about.
Okay.
So he's been like, hey, where is it? So it's in dreaming, but really close to thinking, because it's actually more for us, not we don't want to do it. It's just what do we want to do in what order. And it's just logistically some work for us and how it goes. But it's definitely on our radar. So
all right,
thinking.
The radar.
The radar.
So the radar is pretty big, right? Usually it picks up a bunch
of stuff. It
sees
into the future. I
mean, look at both of us.
What are you saying?
There's a lot of coverage.
Good thing I'm not in charge. Yeah. Once implemented, will the 5th copy solution be applied retroactively? So that's probably...
It's one of the things we actually have been talking about as we work on it. Okay. Because it's, depending on the solution, it can make a difference or it could be not as important. So we aren't ready to talk about that specific yet, but definitely that's part of the actual work we're doing.
It's part of the conversation. It gets tricky, though, depending on how retroactive do you want to be? If the vault goes away, do you really want to retroactively?
Do you want to lose all your wild cards that we've given you? Okay, so like taking away the progress that's been made.
The goal would be for the solution we come up with to be very positive for the players.
All right. Well, on the more UI side of things, I've brought that up a lot on stream. Like the deck builder UI you've mentioned you wanted to revamp it.
Dude, it's like programming a VCR. What's wrong? Don't you love that?
I just love it. I've never felt better about something.
You're just like, oh,
it just feels good.
This is so great.
Yeah. I love the.
Not so much.
There is not any deck builder with open beta.
Oh, okay.
Though we did get one little pet feature.
Ooh.
It is not the best thing in the world, but it's the best thing in the world for me. Where if you do E: in the search and then the set, so GRN, you will sort by set.
So if you type E: the name of the set fully, or just the code name?
Just the code name.
So let's say
AKH, KLD.
AKH would be Amonkhet.
M19.
KLD would be Kaladesh. M19 would be M19, obviously, Magic 2019. So we can search by set using not an UI element, but just the text box.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough, right?
It's a little tiny step.
But that's good, because so now we can hypothetically just filter a set completely.
Right, because that was the big pain that people are running into. We're going to go do that. There's, in fact, producers and UI designers on our team who are just like, let's do it. For open beta, we just had more important things we wanted to get done, but we wanted to make sure to get like those critical things in there.
Okay, well, that's good news for me. I mean, I'm just happy to see that it's doable. Even if it's a command, that's good enough to start with. During the streamer event, will just standard be available, or will there be GRN sealed too?
Both.
Both?
Both.
What?
Our streamers are going to be playing standard and Guild of Ravnica sealed.
Do I have to sign up on the Notice Me, or can I just get in?
I think
just stop by my desk.
it's just sealed in standard. I don't think it's draft, but I don't know.
Are we getting drafts at some point?
We'll find out. Sorry, it's probably another thing marketing told us and I forgot. So.
Well, just for the
for the streamer event, it's just sealed in standard. Okay.
Okay.
But competitive draft is coming the Monday afterwards. So is that? I don't know
That's after the free weekend.
After the weekend of Singleton, but we'll publish that full schedule of all of the events going out through October. So.
Gotcha. Question: please note that MTG Arena will not be available in all regions. Apparently, they've read that somewhere. Which regions will not have MTG Arena? Is what I'm.
Well, part of that's just sort of how we do like boilerplate language, just to be like, hey, in case you're in space on this International Space Station, right? It might not be available there. There are a few places where it isn't right now. We'll publish a list of those. We're working on different details for why that is, but we'll post that out because it's a lot easier than
reading them out. Yeah, sure.
List.
So you'll have a list somewhere
speaking
about which regions will not have them. Okay.
Good question, though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty important for a lot of the players.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, another question about Mac OS.
We saw some folks running into that today already, so we'll make sure to get an answer out. They were trying to figure out how they, in the closed beta even, what happens there. So we'll work on
regions?
that with them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm sure somebody's come up with that. What time will the downtime start on the 24th of September? Yeah, there's 3 days of downtime from 24th to 27th.
Yep.
And during that time, that's when the wipe takes place and all the refunding of whatever gems you...
Just clean it all.
Yeah, just a full, like a clean slate.
I believe it's 8 a.m. on that Monday.
Yep.
Okay.
And then at 1 p.m. on Thursday is when we open everything back up.
Okay. Well, this was the last question on the list. This will do it. We've
all right.
had a very...
Well, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks to all the closed beta players. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, indeed.
Long live Vraska. Those are my closing words.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're the only person.
I'll get you a hat, a fungus hat.
Awesome.
I told him. I'm holding you to that word. If I don't get him, some
no,
kind
it's
of fungus
happening.
hat.
I'm doing it.
Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. I hope the stream was as enjoyable as it was for you than it was for me. I mean, that's a lot of new information coming out of nowhere. I mean, the open beta we knew was going to happen, but having all the details laid out like this, I'm sure there's going to be a post trying to clarify a bunch of that stuff.
There's going to be a number of posts over the next 2 weeks with a whole bunch of information on them.
Yep.
Okay, good stuff. So for the schedule of the events as well, since we're going to have a new set in rotation, well, if you're attending a pre-release at some point, I wish you all the best of Golgari luck. Remember, don't play red-white. Do not. I know it's good, just don't play it. So from all of these folks, myself and the production crew, which is a two-man production
See you in
crew
game.
right there,
Yep.
have a nice
Indeed.
one.